Hello, guys. I hope you guys are doing well. So, today's episode is going to be really special with one of my favorite clients, Akriti Chadda. She is from US Seattle and she works with Microsoft. It is about a very inspiring journey of Akriti Chadda, who was able to lose more than 15 kgs of body weight in less than 6 months with team train like Abhinav Jain. And she's going to share very practical tips for working professionals who are into 9 to 5 jobs, who are living away from home, who are confused on how they should be designing their nutrition, how they should start their fitness routine, and how you can incorporate fitness as a part of your lifestyle and produce great results for yourself in terms of your improving your health, your relationships, and your relationship with yourself. So she is going to share some of the practical tips which you can use to start your fitness journey and start with a result oriented approach. So stay tuned in this episode. This one is going to be a long episode, so if you have good one and a half hour, please watch out this episode, because this episode alone will help you how to start your fitness journey and how to produce great results for yourself. Hello, Akriti. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. What's happening, Akriti? So first of all, Akriti, just tell me little bit like about your work environment, like how many hours do you work? What is the nature of your work? Things like that. So just tell me like what happens throughout your day.
Okay, so I work as an applied scientist at Microsoft here in the headquarters at the Redmond office. More specifically, I work for Bing, the search engine.
Right,
And day to day, I think is very different for me depending on what phase of work I'm in. I could
right,
either be working like 4 hours a day depending on the kind of projects I have.
right,
I could also be working 10 hours a day if I have a deadline coming up. But I
right,
would say on an average, the 9 to 5, 40 hours a week desk job is what I
right,
would describe on an average as my role.
right,
So I get to work anywhere around 9:30, whether it is me driving into the office or me working from home. And
right,
then I'm constantly sitting because I do have like a laptop based job. Like I can't do anything else. I have meetings on my laptop. Um,
right,
I code on my laptop, so I'm just constantly sitting. And then I try to get done by 5:36, but sometimes I'll get done by 5:36, relax for a bit, have dinner. Then I still have to log in again if I have a deliverable the next day. But
right.
yeah, I would say on an average, 40 hours, 9 to 5, sort of like a sitting desk job.
So roughly 8 to 9 hours on a regular basis, like if we
Uh-huh.
talk on an average basis. So it must be a
Yep.
very stressful thing to do, like wake up every day, same time, and mostly sitting throughout the day. So it must be stressful. Like a part, I think the part of your work is itself stressful because you're meeting people constantly, doing coding, and I'm sure that everyone has different sort of stress when it comes to work. So in that Akriti, like when I say the biggest problem with people with desk job, like in personal life, like what it is according to you. Like if we talk about the biggest three hurdles apart from work, because everyone is good with chalo, okay, 9 to 5 we have work. But other
Yeah.
than that, what do you think are basic top three struggles of a busy individual like you?
Wow, that's a very tough question for me. I'm a very glass half full kind of a person. I'm always the kind of person who thinks, how do I make the best out of what I have? So I never think about what the problem is, and I'm just like always looking for solutions. But I guess for me personally, the biggest problems were just sitting all day. So I live in Seattle, and the weather in Seattle is very erratic in the sense that we get good 4 months of like sun and like beautiful days, and you can go out and the weather is really nice. And the
Right,
rest of the 8 months, it's raining. And like it's like a really weird, drizzly kind of raining where you can't just go out and walk. Like it's bad. And then a couple of months in those 8 months, it's just dark. We get sunlight at 9 a.m. in the morning, and then the sun goes away at 3. So like 9 to 3 is the time of sunlight that you get. So you want to go out, but when you're working 9 to 5,
right,
you cannot do that. So I think that is one of the biggest troubles that I face, that I like being out. I think I work on the sunrise to sunset sort of, like the way we work in India. Like my dad used to go to office 10 to 5, like 10 to 6. He used to go after sun was already out, come back before the sun was in. So that was something that I had to deal with. So
right,
sitting through like an entire day. Other than that, outside stressors, Um, I think I'm also very particular about what I eat, and I'll tell you why. Um, I have really bad digestive issues. So if I'm like eating kachra all day, that's going to show up like within a day or two. And that was, I think, a biggest problem for me.
Right.
Third, I think time management. It ties into the first two, like figuring out all the things that I want to do and have a personality outside of work
Right.
while also having work. Like, I don't want my work to be my entire personality. I
Right.
am Akriti who works, not like a working person who also has like some sort of Akriti in her. So trying to figure all of that out, I think were my top three biggest struggles.
I think the last one is something which I keep on interacting and keep on stressing with people I know from the same background, that you are not your work. And this is something I also tell myself like a lot many times, because this is something I also struggle with a lot of times. Like sometimes you get overwhelmed with some deadlines you have or some big projects you are having in your mind, and you think that you are the only one who is going to take this responsibility. And a lot of people out there, they are very good in what they do, like their work and everything, but they are very bad in other pillars of life, like how much time to give to their family, how much time to give them to themselves, like on their own personal growth, like to come out of their own jar of like feelings like they have inside. So they are like, I would say most of the time they are just distracted. Okay, काम है, काम के बाद चलो अभी relax है. So I think that separation is very important. Like you said, like there's a different you, like different akriti also apart from work. So what is that you need to really explore? I think that's a great advice. So akriti, just another question I have for you, that what do you think like are the top three stress management techniques like you use in your personal life? Like I'm sure that your regular lifestyle must be very stressful if you just think about work, but what are the top three stress management techniques which you keep with yourself, like which works for you?
So I think I started out journaling a couple of years ago, and I think that's been very helpful.
Right.
So I try to end of the day or starting of the day, and guided journalism doesn't really work for me. Like I don't want like questions anywhere. I just take a piece of pen and paper, like no laptop, like nothing. I just want like no phone, absolutely nothing. Just like a notebook and a pen, and I try to just write. Just I think when I'm stressed, there's a lot of things going in my head, and what I've realized is if I just dump all of them out, I'll start feeling a lot better automatically because a lot of the thoughts are just like trying to push out other thoughts. It's a chain reaction of how many thoughts come in. So if I just dump them out on paper, that really helps. And
Right.
this also translates into, me making a lot of to-do lists because a lot of the time stress comes from, oh my God, I have so many things to do and I don't have all the time to do them. So just
Right.
fishing them out into like a to-do list helps. On the same line, talking to somebody really helps. I'm very grateful that, I have a very supportive family and like a really supportive husband. So I'm
Right.
able to talk to somebody about those stresses, and that really helps out. Over the last 2 years or so, I think you've been a big part of that journey. I think working out has helped me a lot. I used to tell you, but I think it's no secret that I use my time to work out as my me time. And that's the time I would just like put on a big pair of headphones and just blast music and not think. I would consistently use that time to, plug out of everything that was happening in my life, whether it was work, whether it was my personal life, whatever it was, just focus on myself. So it was sort of like meditation. I'm not very great at meditation, but I used my workout time as my meditation, not think about anything, but just
Right.
myself and then focus on that. And that really helped.
Right.
So those would be my top three.
And how does Akriti, like healthier eating? Like I'm sure that we all have been there where our eating habits were not really well, including me. Like, what do you see? Like, what change do you see in yourself when you comparatively eat healthier and make good choices? And how does that kind of correlates with your, I would say, mental health? Do you think that it really creates a difference on your mindset as well?
Definitely. And I think the reason, you know, it very directly ties in with how you feel physically. So, like I started out, we were talking about it, that I have like digestive issues in the sense that I used to get bloated a lot. And I thought it was mostly because, of course, it was mostly because of what I was eating. I just didn't know what I was doing wrong. I thought I was overeating, and that was the reason. But it's not always overeating. It's also what you're putting into your body that could be bloating you, and having the information about that really helps. Now, the thing is, once you're physically not feeling better, there's no way you can mentally feel better. It is going to start
Definitely.
affecting you mentally in some way. So that was the case for me, that I'd wake up every morning feeling so full and so bloated and, not wanting to do anything. And that's a cycle. Because if you're not wanting to do anything, you will do the same thing. You'll sit around, sit on the couch, watch TV, eat
You
some more
stress you.
kachra,
You
and then
stress
be like,
more.
how am I going to feel better? You're not going to feel better.
You
So
stress
I
more
think
that
it's
I'm
their
not.
entire loop. Yeah,
Right. So I think one thing I would like to add here is that once you are not feeling physically better, like you're feeling physically lethargic, you're also going to automatically not take very good eating decisions, because now eating good food or some interesting food is going to be a source of entertainment for you to keep your
absolutely.
stresses down. Like, okay, I'm not feeling this,
Absolutely.
let me eat this burger or let me eat this
Yeah,
brownie, something like that. So once you're also not eating well, then you're also creating some sort of bloating issues, or maybe that eating is not causing bloating issues. One of the thing which I am mind blown right now after doing some course right now which I'm doing with how psychology and
mm,
your gut health is related. So I really got to know that how stress can even contribute to a bad gut health. There's a term called
yeah.
alexithymia. Right now,
Okay.
this same alexithymia can trigger your bad, I would say, microbiota in your gut, which can instantly give you a feeling of bloating. And okay, now you can question all sort of like, I'm also eating clean, but what's happening with me? It's just because you are not moving your body. Because of that, you are generating more stress in your mind, and because of that external stress, your gut health is also messed up. Once your gut health is also messed up, then your entire system is messed up technically.
Absolutely.
I think
Absolutely.
it's a vicious loop. So I think, yeah, definitely that's a great acknowledgement, and that's how, like, I think you connected the dots pretty well. So now, Akriti, just tell me, like how hard is working out? For example, I one of the things, one of the most common questions or one of the most common struggles I face with newbies, like coaching new clients who are in a desk job, is that 5 बजे के बाद यार, I don't feel like working out. I'm just so tired. I'm just so lethargic. I just don't feel like moving my body. I just feel stressed. I just want to relax. Like, how you deal with it? Like, I'm very sure that you are a very busy individual right now. Whatever you have told me, like, you just work 8 hours. That's also not true. You work probably more. But how do you still manage to stay consistent in your workouts? And how do you like get yourself up, like cross that feeling of, oh, I'm feeling tired after work, it was such a busy day? Like, how do you deal with it?
That's a very good question. And I used to be in that same boat. I used to think like I'm just tired and I can't work out. And I think the conclusion that I have come to is that it's not that you're physically tired to work out. You are too mentally drained to make any more decisions. And that's just what it is.
Wow.
So, and that's for me too. Like, there's every person has a certain bandwidth and there's a certain number of decisions you can make in a day. And when you're working a stressful job, multiple jobs, whatever it is that you're doing, you already make so many mental decisions throughout the day that by the time it comes time to take care of yourself, you don't want to make any more decisions. So if you have to go to the gym and then think, oh my God, what will I do today? Will I do legs? Will I do arms? In that, what kind of exercises I will do? That it's not going to happen because you're not going to want to make any more of those decisions. So the
Yeah.
conclusion that I came to for myself was either I start working out in the morning. I was just not a morning person. So I am a morning person now. I woke up at 6 a.m. for this call, but I was not a morning person. So I was like, I'm not like, that's just not going to happen. So the way it helped me was I got a coach. I figured out that that's where my problem lied, that I can't plan my workouts for myself. So I'm just going to have someone who's trained to do it, to do it for me so that I don't have to, think about it constantly. And I think that's where having a coach like you helped me because you helped me plan my workouts. So when I walked into that gym for that, 1.5 hour of me time, I just had to open my app and, like just stick to the plan that I had. I didn't have to think. So for me, that decision making was completely out of the picture. And, the decision of going to the gym was already made, that I get done with work and immediately after work, I go to gym and then I come back home. So I think that's also, making your lifestyle around that. So either have the gym very close to where you live or have the gym very close to where you work, so that, that entire process of, oh, I have to travel to the gym also doesn't, stop you from going to
You
the gym,
have
because
to
it's
you
another
have to make
decision.
it look achievable. Like you cannot be setting, okay,
Absolutely.
my gym is 20 minutes away from my home. I'm going to travel every day after work, 20 minutes to go in, 20 minutes to go out. That is just not a
Absolutely.
smart decision. Yeah.
Absolutely. You have to make it a part of your lifestyle. And then, like I evolved around it. So for example, there was a point of time, like I said, my gym was really close to my work. So my workplace was changing. And I knew that there is no way I'm going to take myself 20 minutes to the gym. So I spoke to you and I was like, can I just start working from home? And you helped me change the exercises to work from home for the timing, because I knew that if I have the exercises where I don't need the gym equipment, I will work out, because I will still take the time outside of, okay, I finished work and then I'm going to go to my garage and I'm going to work out for like the next 1 hour and then come back in. So you have to think of working, or at least I started thinking of working out as I wake up every morning, I brush my teeth, I eat, and that's a part of my lifestyle. So why isn't working out a part of my lifestyle? It's something that's going to give me a longer life and to be able to do the other things in my life. So now working out is just something I do. It's not like an extra effort. It's just a part of my day.
It's
And
just
not having to plan it is what makes it work. I think that's the biggest.
right. So I think this is where I was coming to. Like, let's assume, Akriti, you even have a plan. Like the first hurdle was that I don't have a plan, I don't have a workout plan, so I don't know what to do in the gym. I have never done this. That struggle we have already overcome with a good plan. Now, even though you have a plan, now you have the same feeling, right? After 5 p.m. in the evening, you have the same feeling. Oh, I maybe I should take a nap, or maybe I don't feel like working out. Then I'm just feeling lazy. I don't have that energy left in my mind. So how do you deal with that thought itself? Like, do you stress on that thought? Like, do you plan it ahead? Like, what do you do?
Um, I just got an accountability partner. I think two levels of accountability. So one, I was accountable to my coach that I need to finish all the workouts that I have. So end of the week check-ins were really helpful, because
Right,
I'm a very type A personality. I need to finish everything that has been assigned to me. So if a workout has been assigned to me, I have to finish it by hook or by crook. The
right,
other thing that I did was I got an accountability partner to go to the gym. And in my case, I was lucky it was my husband. So both
right,
of us would go to the gym together. So I think that helped, because the days he wasn't motivated, like, Akriti, I'm really tired, I don't want to go. I'd be like, no, no, Ashit, I have to go. Let's go together. We'll go for half an hour.
right,
Like, let's go for half an hour and come back. And same thing that, if I was not feeling it, then he'd tell me, Akriti, no, no, today I have to work out. You come with me. Now, the thing is, once you take yourself to the gym,
hmm,
I think my rule was I'll try working out for 15 minutes. If
hmm.
after 15 minutes also I'm not feeling it, I'm gonna like skip the workout, because there are days that you're genuinely physically tired and there's no way to know if it's
Definitely,
like a mental block or a physical block. So I used to
definitely.
give myself 15 minutes. Then
Hmm.
I'd start working out. And then if after 15 minutes also I'm feeling like I don't want to do it, then I'll actually stop. Like I'll go to a cafe and sit and like just relax for the day.
Right.
But more often than not, after 15 minutes, I used to feel better after working out, and then I'd finish my workout and
You
then
feel like
come
continuing.
back.
You feel like, okay,
Yeah,
it was not that hard. Let me do more. Let me do more.
absolutely.
I think
I think it's just setting systems. I think most of my answers to all of your questions are going to be, you have to set systems for yourself. And it's not just about working out, like the kind of habits that you form, and habit forming is a lot easier when you form systems around them. It
right,
makes anything that you want to do easier. And in this case, we're talking about working out. So just whatever system works for you, like I said, for me, accountability worked, having a plan worked. So once you
right,
have a system, it's going to help you achieve your final goal, whatever that is.
right. So I think definitely I agree with that, with you. Like, once you want to do something, you cannot be emotionally bound with it. Like, yes, respect your emotions, but 10 out of 9 times, if you are going with your emotions, then you are going towards self destructions. Like, do you agree on
Absolutely.
that? Right. So most of the
Absolutely.
time we just need to make sure that, okay, if I'm not able to do this, maybe I can plan it better, or maybe
Mhm.
someone else can plan it better. One of the things I would say, I think I never told this to you because you were already good with your planning, like very like nicely you used to plan your day. But one of the things I always advise to people who are starting out their fitness journeys is to schedule their workouts in their daily routine. For example, if you know that 9 to 5 you are going to work, what time you are going to work out. You cannot tell yourself, चलो मैं सुबह चले जाएंगे, आज सुबह उठ गए तो सुबह चले जाएंगे, शाम को जाना होगा तो शाम को 6 6:30 चले, नहीं, you have to fix it. Okay, 6:30 to 7:30 it's blocked
Yeah.
in my calendar,
Yeah.
that it is my time to work out. If you call yourself professionals, you are professionals, right? You are doing a 9 to 5 job, you are professionals, then act like professionals in everything you do. Like, you
Absolutely.
understand this concept like the closest. So you, how can you
Absolutely.
not plan your workout? For example, if you set yourself time, okay, 6:30 to 7:30, it's my workout time. Even if I'm not able to go to gym, maybe probably I'm just going to go out and go for a walk. But I'm not doing anything else. I'm not taking any calls, any friend, any plan which comes in sudden. Okay, if I can shift it to 7:30, I will do that. Right. So I think that priorities setting is very, very important.
Absolutely.
Right.
I think that's very true. The thing that you said about put in your calendar, I think I do that. And it's very helpful. Like you wouldn't cancel on somebody that you're getting on a call with. So why would you cancel like an appointment with yourself
With
to,
yourself.
go work out? Yeah, like the
Exactly.
appointment is with yourself. So
Right.
I think that's
Most of
important.
the people, I don't think they prioritize themselves, and they want the world to prioritize them. That is never going to happen, because I have
Yeah,
learned this the hard way, that Abhinav, you need to prioritize yourself in certain areas with certain people. If you don't prioritize yourself, you are, I would say, throughout your life, you are just going to get a feeling that I do so much for people, do so much for my organization, and that I'm not getting back in return, because you are just disappointing yourself by over delivering every time. Right. You need to
absolutely.
deliver that, over deliver to that, to yourself, because I think the best investment you can do is the time investment on your own growth, be it in any.
100%.
I think
100%
one
agreed.
of the most important parts is from physical activity, because if you are not moving your body, you are just missing out so much on the table, right?
100%.
Right. So Agriti, another struggle which I think that like you were probably very good with, and a lot of people struggle that with, is they have a plan, they have a nutrition plan, they have everything on their table, but they're not able to follow it. Like, what do you think like is the biggest reason for that?
It's planning again. I think that was the same thing for me. And you know, it happened to me a lot of weeks. If I didn't plan my week, like I would not eat properly. Like it's just what it is. So
Right.
for me, what worked was it has to be one step before, right? So you know that you're supposed to eat something during a week. But if you're working, for somebody like me who, I don't have a cook or I don't have house help, so I have to cook my own food and I have to clean up the mess that I create after I cook it, and then I have to do whatever. So I knew that cooking every day is not gonna work for me, so I have to do some sort of meal prep. I don't like just reheating food and eat it, so I knew that I have to meal prep some sort of ingredient so that cooking on the day is easier for me. So
Right.
that takes it one step even before that. So the only way I'll be able to meal prep is that if I do it on the weekend. So that means I have to do my grocery shopping accordingly. So it's like a full plan that you have to follow. You have to figure out what you want to eat, how you want to eat it, how you're going to prepare it, things like that. So like I said, the days that I didn't do my grocery shopping properly, I didn't eat properly, and it just went down the drain. Because
Right.
during the week, I didn't have the time to, go grocery shop. I had to make a choice between do I take that 1 hour for me working out or 1 hour for me grocery shopping. Some days I became smart about it, and then Tuesday I'd go grocery shopping thinking I shouldn't waste the rest of the week. But ideally, like that didn't happen. Like it just was.
Right.
So I think yeah, planning come like core planning comes down to that in that also. Another thing I'll be honest that sort of helped me is I followed the 80-20 rule. So for me, what I ate during the week didn't matter. So I would eat the same thing every day, and that helps to build the habit. Because then again, no more decision fatigue. You don't have to think, oh, what healthy thing am I going to make today? What is the healthy recipe that I'm going to look up and make? Will I like the healthy recipe or not? I
Right.
just picked a few recipes that worked for me, and I just for the last year, you've seen my meal logs. Like last year and a half, I have eaten the same thing during the weekdays because
Same.
I really don't care.
Right.
However, give me a second. However, like when it came to the weekends, I didn't really restrict myself that much. Like I made healthier choices, instead of getting pasta and bread, I'd get like one of them. I'd make sure that my meal was more focused on the protein, and those are the things that I learned working with you.
Right.
So making healthier choices was definitely one. But I think one thing that I did understand very early on is the more I restrict myself, the more I want to eat all of those things that I'm restricting myself from. I just had to figure out what is a healthier option and how do I portion control, because I think that was my biggest problem. I
Right.
grew up learning that don't waste your food. So whatever comes into your plate, you have to finish it all, and that's not true. And that was really bad for me when I moved to the US because the portion sizes in the US are huge. So if you order an entree, like three people can finish that entree. But for me, it was I have one plate in front of me and I don't, waste food on my plate. So how do I finish this? So
That's the I think that is one of the biggest reasons for the suffering which people
yeah,
face, that I don't want to waste my food. I have learned
yeah.
this from my parents.
Yeah.
I don't want.
No, but like then you don't have to waste it. Like what I learned was they give you the option to pack your food. So
Right, right, right,
I do that now, like I'll portion out how much ever I know I should be eating, and anything more than that is not just like, bad for me, but it's also going to make me feel terrible tomorrow morning. Like, it's just going to make me feel bad. So I
right,
portion it out, and then in the end, I'll be like, can I please get a to-go bag? And then you pack it up, and then you eat it for lunch the next day. So, you still enjoy that food later,
right,
but you're not making your body feel terrible, you're not making your mind feel terrible. So I think two things: learning what is good for me, what's healthy, how to make those healthier options, and not restricting myself when I was going out, following the 80-20 rule in that sense, and then planning ahead. I think those are the things that really helped me out.
right. Definitely. I think these are very crucial points which you have covered. And I think without applying these, I think to expect yourself to do well in your nutrition is definitely, I think, going to be a lot of struggle, because a lot of people
And
will
I,
start getting demotivated. Oh, I'm not able to follow this. Maybe there's a problem with me. I don't have a
yeah,
self-control. I just don't have a good relationship with food. They will just go into that loop
absolutely.
of, right?
And it's very easy to do that. And I was that person. And I'm even like not ashamed to admit it. I was the person who started out with like, I'm just gonna eat one cookie. Like I'll open like an Oreo biscuit packet and be like, I'm gonna eat like two of these. But then I really wanted one more. I'd eat one more, and then I'll be like, now that I've eaten three, how does it matter? Like my
Oh,
diet's ruined anyway. Like
right,
I might as well eat the full packet. Same thing with like ice cream. So there's a pattern. Like my biggest problem was sugar, and sugar is known to be addictive. So I'd eat like I just want to eat like two scoops of this ice cream. I want to have like two more spoons. Oh, I've already eaten half the pint anyway. Let me finish the rest of the pint. I was that
right,
person, but
right,
going into that loop is not very helpful. And it takes time and a lot of learning to train yourself to get out of it. So I think another thing is that people need to start giving themselves grace, that they're not the only one facing this, and this
right,
is a very well-known problem. So
right,
if you're not able to work alone to figure this out, like please work with somebody else who can help you. And like I said, for me, it worked out because like you were the all-in-one person for me. And I remember like, my first check-in with you, I told you like sugar is a problem. Like I can't go to bed without having something sweet. Now, I go weeks without even wanting an ice cream, and I feel great about that.
right. So what do you think like actually helped you to, did I say you that you should not be eating sugar or sugar is bad for you? Like what actually worked for you? Like how are you able to control your sugar cravings? Because a lot of people think that they are controlled by sugar. I'm sure that
Yeah.
you have told me this couple of times that Abhinav, I just cannot leave sugar. Like we were on the
Yeah.
inquiry call and you were like, Abhinav, मैं सब कर लूंगी but मीठा नहीं छोड़ सकती. What is the solution? Like, do you remember that conversation? And what do you
Yes,
think, like coming back, like almost after 2 years now, almost I think 1.5 or 2 years now, what do you think
almost two.
really helped you to win over that sugar craving and not really getting controlled by sugar?
I do remember that call, and I think I told you right before. So we had the check-in call, and then I had like my habit forming phase that was going to start or whatever
Right.
on a Monday, I think. Sunday night, I just still remember my mom was here, so I pulled my husband and my mom to my favorite ice cream shop here, and I got like this huge sundae, and I'm like, this is the last day of my life. I can't eat ice cream after this. I'm going to I finished it. I loved it. I was like, oh my
Right.
God, I'm never gonna eat it after that. And then, like it never happened that that was my last time. Like,
Right.
we were very open on the conversation about like have ice cream when you want, like just don't have like a big scoop with like hot chocolate on top of it and then like a waffle cone. Like figure out like when it works out and then calories in, calories out, like restrict your calories throughout the week somewhere and then like, use up your sugar and carbs for this at the end of the week. So
Right.
again, planning, that was one. Second, I think one of the biggest things was the reason I was having all of these sugar cravings is because I was eating so much shit like the rest of the day that at the end of the day, my body needed that. And once you start learning to eat better, you eat a lot of protein throughout the day, you eat a lot of fiber throughout the day. You don't
That's the
want
game changer.
sugar at the end of the day.
That's the
So,
game changer.
uh, I think sure, I said calories in, calories out, but I think what I've learned over the last couple of months that all calories are not equal.
Right.
You can have 1200 calories of carbs throughout the day, and then at the end of the day, you will still want more and you're not going to be full.
Still
But then
want
if
sugar because all the
absolutely,
carbohydrates are getting converted in your body. It
yeah,
is going to just break down into your body in the form of sugars. At the end of the day,
absolutely,
carbs are not highly satiating, and you are going to crave
yeah,
more sugar because your
yeah,
brain is going to signal you, okay, this person maybe has just sugars around her or around him. So let me crave more sugar because I'm running out of energy. Then
yeah,
you're going to crave sugar, and what is the simplest form of sugar you are going to find? It's like a brownie or something processed sugar. You are not getting controlled by sugar. It's just your habits are not in that
yeah,
environment.
yeah,
But once you start getting more protein, once you start hitting, I would say, more fiber in your body, automatically your body starts staying more satiated. It starts staying more fuller, right? That way your body realizes, okay, I don't maybe really need that much amount of sugar for energy purposes because I have
yeah,
other supporting macronutrients as well.
yeah,
So I think we did nothing in order to tell you, okay, sugar is bad for you or you should not be having sugar. Of course, we had this conversation. Maybe, we also need to remember that we are on a goal and we are not getting controlled by sugar. Take your decisions accordingly, being mindfully. But I think one of the major things was that your eating habits changed. You were staying full for a longer period of time, and you were just able to, after that, I think everything supported you. And of course, your
absolutely,
mindset also, you were not telling yourself that I'm controlled by sugar, like you were telling yourself earlier. You were like, okay,
absolutely,
I'm actually feeling fine. And I
yeah.
think I think the second thing was environment. I think you stopped putting all of this in your home only, like
Oh, I think yeah, sure. Like that's also big. Like I stopped getting like any cookies or like I always used to have like a pint of ice cream. So like I'd be like, oh, I'm sad, I want ice cream. I just have to reach out to my freezer to get some ice cream. So I stopped keeping
right,
anything at home so that in the gym I was saying you shouldn't have a barrier. In case of food, I had barrier that don't have any junk food at home so that there's a barrier of oh, I have to go to the grocery store to get what I want. And more often than not, I was too lazy to go to the grocery store at the middle of the night to get something.
right.
Then I just wouldn't eat it.
Environment. I think another
Yeah,
point here we can add is if you keep sugars in your home on your
yeah,
dining table, you are probably going to munch,
absolutely,
right? You cannot
absolutely.
be give setting yourself up for the bait and expecting yourself not to have it. For example, for me, it is totally opposite with namkeen. If a packet of nachos or bhujia is kept right in front of me, it's like a bait to me. Like it's
Yeah,
a very hard conversation that I have to go through
yeah,
in my mind that Abhinav, it's okay. You're not
yeah,
getting fooled by it. But I think
yeah,
most of the times it is if it is kept in front of me regularly, then I might indulge into that,
yeah,
eating few pieces out of it, or maybe overeating as well. I know that these
Absolutely.
are my trigger foods. I need to be planned and set my environment accordingly. So I think, yeah, that is one of the things which really works. So another question is that what are the top three advices for a successful transformation you would like to give to a person with the desk job? Or it can be anyone also, but specifically, I would say a person with a desk job. Like if they want to transform or physically, mentally, or their habits, like what are the top three advices you would like to give them?
I think the first one I'd say like go get a coach for yourself. Like you're already making too many decisions throughout the day. Um, you are not trained in working out or like what is best for you in terms of like nutrition and like keeping your body healthy. If you're able to afford it, I think that's definitely one. Like, if you're able to afford getting help from somebody, go ahead and do it because that's very helpful. And in the long term, it's an investment that you're making into yourself because that's going to make you a lot better version of yourself just by being accountable
Right.
and helping you with that work. So that's definitely great. Second, I think I would say spend some time in planning and time management every week. A lot of people just don't do that, and then when it comes to, and this is specifically for like transforming yourself. If you just wanted to have like a day-to-day regular healthy life, I'm sure like you can do something else. But I wanted to lose like 20 kilos, for example. And I did that like, within like whatever, a year and a half period or
Right.
something like that.
Right.
So I think if that's something that you wanted to do, then having that discipline is very important. I think that's where planning and time management really comes to play because you can't shy away from it. There's no way you can be able to do that without
Right.
figuring out your life. Because again, working out alone is not going to be your life. And if you just make it your life, you are going to be miserable. You still have to work, you still have a family, you still have friends. What you're doing is putting in that extra hour, hour and a half on a daily basis. So you need to figure out where that time needs to come from. And that's a quite a bit of shift in perspective initially when you start. Eventually it becomes a part of you, so it becomes easy. But I think that starting is difficult. And the third one I'd say is like don't give up. And I think that's where the first two really help because it's very easy to give up initially. So having
Right.
someone who's there for you and trying to help you get over that hump
Mm.
really helps to move on to the other side. And then once you get onto the other side, it's a lot easier to stick around. Like once you build that habit,
Right.
it's like now, like I'm not working towards any particular goal that I want to lose X amount of kilos.
Right.
I just enjoy working out, and I just didn't like, I know that eating better is better for me. So I
Right.
still make healthier choices, and there's no one like trying to tell me, oh, Akriti, you still need to lose 5 kilos because I don't.
Right.
So once you get into the habit, it becomes a lot easier. So don't give up.
Right. So don't give up. You will fail. Eventually, you can fail if you are new to this. You will find it hard. Maybe you are not getting the results in 3 months like that person did from who you got inspired. Maybe you are inspired from Akriti, which a lot of people are. But if she did in maybe 3 months, 6 months, it's not important that you should also be doing in that in 6 months, right? It's
For
your
sure. Like everybody is different,
right.
honestly. And like it's very simple. Like if my starting weight was a lot higher than yours, I'm probably going to lose a lot more weight because my body has that weight to lose. So if
Right.
you should be proud of yourself that you were not in that bad a condition as me in the first place anyway.
Right.
Everybody is different, yes, but like everybody is also different. And like what
Every
worked
mind
for
is
me
different,
might
yeah.
not work for you.
Everyone has different motivations. Like everyone has a different way of dealing with things, right? Like for example,
Right,
in
absolutely.
your case, you understood the concept of planning your day, right? But for someone who is not planning their day, do you think that they are going to achieve the same transformation? Maybe they are of the same weight, same height, same fitness level. Do you think they are going to achieve the same result in that same time frame? The answer,
No, like
unless
no,
and until
yeah,
you focus on what is really stopping you from progress,
yeah,
you are not going forward. A lot of people think that they need a crazy workout, they need a very good nutrition plan that you can even find on internet. I don't
yeah.
think so it is that anymore. What it is about,
Mhm.
finding that what are your biggest barriers, Why,
Yeah,
if you're failing consistently in your fitness journey, what are the reasons? Now work
absolutely.
those reasons. I think this is a lot of
Absolutely.
talking which a lot of people don't do. They just want to find like shortcuts. Okay, कौन सा सबसे अच्छी डाइट है, कौन सा सबसे अच्छा वर्कआउट है, but no, it is just your own lifestyle, your habits which you really need to work on. And I would say just it's a process, and you just don't need to give up, like you said. One
Absolutely.
thing you mentioned
And
that,
consistency.
right, please continue.
No, no, I just wanted to say that, like consistency is the other thing that, you have to be consistent with whatever it is that you're doing. And that's where the barriers come in. Like, what is preventing you from being consistent? And once you figure those out, anything's going to work for you.
How do you stay consistent, Akriti, in whatever you do? Because I see that you are consistent with almost everything you do. You want to drink coffee, you will be consistent with it. You want to read books, you will be consistent with it. You want to work on that side hustle, you will be consistent with it. Because once you sent me your entire, I would say, planner, I was like, this person wakes up at 5, and from 5 a.m. till the time she sleeps, everything is planned. I'm like, oh my god, like how do you stay consistent? Because I'm sure that there might be a phase where you were not consistent with things. Like if you have to
Absolutely.
really define, like, from not being consistent to getting consistent in things, like, what is that secret mantra which you followed?
Learning that decision fatigue is a thing. So on an everyday basis, I don't want to make decisions every day. Like, I would much rather use that mind power or brain power that I have for the important decisions that I want to make. And I think this concept is from Jeff Bezos, I think. I
Right.
think I read one of his interviews or something, and I think he came up with this concept, or I learned this concept from him. But everybody has a certain amount of brain power. And I was like,
Right.
if the see, he was still the CEO of Amazon at the time. So I was
Mm.
like, if the founder and CEO of like one of the biggest tech companies in the world is able to use it, and he's reached that point, so I also can do that. And it really works. Like, I want to use my brain power for making as few decisions as possible, but those decisions need to have big impact. So if
Right.
I spend my mind power thinking what am I going to do next, I'm just wasting my time and my energy.
Right.
So I learned very early on, by early, I mean like 6, 7 years ago, that the more I plan my day to
Mm.
like 15 minutes, if you see my calendar, like literally before I go to bed, I have this time I'm going to wake up, I'm going to take 20 minutes to like freshen up and brush my teeth, 20 minutes to have coffee and journal, 20 minutes to do this. And I think that's the planner that I sent you. It's fully planned out, so I don't have to think, what am I doing next? Am I getting ready next? Am I having coffee next? Am I going to work next? And honestly, again, every person is different, and for some people, this might be too much. Be like, I can't plan my life. I'm like, sure, but like for me personally, that's the only thing that helps. I have to be planned A to Z, and like this is where I plan, like with friends. Like if I'm going out for dinner, if I'm meeting a certain friend, it is on my calendar. I need to see it to be able to do it. And now it's very simple. Like if it's not on my calendar, I'm not going to do it. And that's why, having it on there really helps. And that works for like every aspect. Like I said, you have appointments and meetings at work that you don't skip. So now whatever I have on my calendar, it's just a habit. I can't skip it. So
Right.
it just works out.
Can I ask you a question, being your client and you being my coach? Like
Sure.
I want to add,
Why not?
right? So okay. So Akriti, I cannot plan. I think that's taking away my freedom, and I just don't want to plan things. I just feel very bound. So like I don't like this planning and all, planning your food, planning your day. Like I just want to be free. Like, can you help me with this? Like, am I going wrong?
I'm such a terrible coach. I'll say, yes, you are wrong. No, like honestly, again, like I said, like everyone is different, but I think I, I read a lot. And like in as many, again, I could be biased based on the recommendations that I get because of the books that I'm reading.
Right.
But there's a lot of research around how planning is actually really helpful. And if you are able to learn how to plan, you're not going to hate it as much. I think the problem with a lot of people that I speak to, of course, like I don't coach people, but like I have a lot of friends and I speak to like a lot of juniors in school and I teach. So a lot of people just don't know how to plan or what works for them. Because there are so many things out there that you can use. You can use a physical planner, you can use like a planner, you can use to-do lists, you can use calendars. You have to figure out what works for you. And I'm 100% sure that there's going to be one of these things that works for you. And planning can look different for different people. Like, it doesn't have to be perfect planning. It doesn't have to be what I'm doing, where, every 20 minutes are mapped out. Having blocks of time planned out that, in the morning 8 to 12, I do this, 12 to 5, I do this, 5 to
Like
7, I
the
do
most
this.
important
That might
task, yeah,
work.
like you want to
Yeah,
prioritize these tasks, you just plan it.
yeah,
Okay, maybe I'm
yeah,
going to work out. Working out is if it is important to you. Maybe 6 to 7, I will be working out. 9 to 5, I have a very now in your work also. What is there, which is the most important task of the day? Like you need
yeah,
to know that what is the agenda for today. Okay, today is Monday.
absolutely.
I am there. Okay, how is my day looking like? What is there? I am going to try to win today. What is there I'm gonna try to
Absolutely.
finish today. So if you go with that purpose and you are able to somehow finish that, I think it gives you a satisfaction by the end of the day that you were able to do it. Like it happens with me. I think I had this conversation with you like back in last I think this year only, back in January, when I told you that Akriti, hey, I'm gonna be now fully working from home, so I don't know how really this works because I'm not going to meet people now. So like, do you have any suggestions for it? So you told me one of the things that you have to put a stop at it, right? You have to separate your work life, your personal life, and other aspects of life,
Absolutely.
because it is very easy to overwork once you are working from home. You just feel like, okay, maybe I should, because that is, I would say, after a point, that is the easiest thing to do. If you are not able to give time to other pillars, you are just telling yourself again and again
Absolutely.
that, okay, I'm working here, I'm busy. Like
Yeah.
you told in a very, I would say, very nice manner, but I am going to be really harsh on this one, because I think it is something true also, that a lot of people are lazy. They run away from planning because they don't want to spend those 10 minutes, because if they really start doing it, initially they are going to feel stressed out because they are not good with it. But as you told, that it is, you don't have to be perfect, you just need to start with it. Okay, maybe just
Yeah.
start with very simple things, like what three things you are going to do today, something like that. Second thing, I think they play a victim mindset of, okay, maybe that is going to take away their freedom. But what I feel from my own experience by applying that is that it is actually going to give you freedom, right? Because
100%.
if you are
100%.
moving and you know that you will reach your destination, you are more free. But if you wake up
Mhm.
every day, you go on a drive with yourself and you don't know where to go. Okay, I feel like moving left, let me move left. If I feel like moving right, let me move right. What do you think, how will you feel about it? Will you feel lost? Will you feel like you don't have a purpose? Will you feel that wherever you are going, maybe you are not sure where you're going? So I think that planning is going to give you a lot of freedom in the future, because you are going to reach your destination and you are going to feel the benefits which you are craving for right now. That is not going to take your
Absolutely.
freedom. That is going to give you return on
Absolutely.
your time. So I think this is
Absolutely.
something
I
which,
think the no, no, go ahead.
yeah, yeah, please.
I was just saying the
Uh,
driving analogy that you gave like was really good. That you
right.
need to figure out where you're going and you can't just keep going left, right whenever you want. I think that was great.
Right, definitely. So now, moving forward, Akriti, like talking about, you mentioned that you should hire a coach, and you probably should be working with someone. Like, what are the top three traits you would advise someone that they should be looking in a coach before signing up with them? Because there are a lot of fitness influencers, coaches out there. There are one-on-one trainers as well. Like, what are the
Yeah.
top three qualities which you would look in a coach, or you would suggest someone to look before starting out their journeys?
Uh, Very good question. So I think the things that were most important for me were that my coach should be a listener. Um, my coach should also be able to make me talk. I think that's very important. And then the knowledge. I think those three were very important. And in honestly, in that order, because I feel like until the coach, like, if the coach is just a talker and doesn't listen to you, they're not providing you personal value. They need to be able to listen to you and then accordingly coach you. And, that's what real coaching is. Otherwise, it's generic, it's stuff that you will find on the internet. Like it needs to be tailored towards you. I feel like your coach needs to be a listener. Make you talk, because a lot of times I go, so I think this personally worked for me, but I'm sure it's true for a lot of people, that I will go into a shell when I know I'm not doing something right. And that also comes from my type A personality. Like either it is I'm perfect or it's nothing. And then when it's nothing, I'll just like, well, okay, this is not working out for me. So my coach needs to be able to figure out, that's a problem. And that's again where the personal interest in me comes in. So, knowing that your coach is as personally invested in you and your success as you are, I think is
Right.
very important. And third, I think like the knowledge is very important because you can find a lot of frauds on the internet. Like, there's a lot of people just like being like it's a fad to be a fitness coach right now. Like somebody has a fitness coach and they become really fit and they're like, oh, I am fit to be a fitness coach now.
Like
But
they have worked
like
on their
you
bodies and they know how to
yeah.
help others as well. Right. I think more
Yeah, like if you
of
look
the
good on Instagram, so be like, oh, I can make you also look good like me. But like that's not the like that's not the case. So like
right.
make sure that your coach is knowledgeable. They have the certifications that they need to be able to coach other people, but also, like if you're talking about working out and nutrition, so they're also certified in things like that. So I
Right.
think that's very important. So those are the three things that I would look at.
Right, that's great. And what do you think, like training with me, like what were the top three qualities which you would like to tell me about me? So let's
I
like
think I would
the
switch
top three
the first two.
top best things I would say, best things when you were training with me, like train like Abhinav Jain, like what were the top three things you really liked, which helped you to, take the best out of your journey?
Yeah, I think the three traits that I looked for, I think you definitely have those top three, but like the first two, I'd switch. I think you're very good at being personally invested in the growth of somebody who's working with you. You are also very good at segregating who are the people who are invested in themselves. And I think you told me this that when we started out, and I definitely saw that in you, that if you put effort into yourself and I see it, I will put more effort into you, something on
Definitely.
those lines. And I definitely saw that. So I think that was very helpful because I've seen that, with every month that has passed, like when I get motivated to do more, you get like 10 times more motivated to help me achieve what I want to achieve. And like that's very helpful because, there's someone having a vote of confidence in you. Second, I think you're a great listener. Every time that I've asked you to change something about my plan that will work better for me, you have worked with me, like, not against me. You've never been like, well, Akriti, I don't have the time to do this. Like, you've
Right.
made sure that you have the time and you put in the effort to help me achieve my goals by listening to me and tailoring the program as and how I've needed in the last 2 years. And knowledge, I think you're also not, I think that's actually very important, that you do not shy away from saying, oh, I don't know this, but I can get back to you once I read more about it. You're not the person who says, oh, I know everything that there is to know about everything. Like you're very open about and very honest about, oh, this is not something that I've come across before, but let me do a little bit more research and get back to you about it. And I think I absolutely love that because that means I can trust you, that I'm not getting the wrong advice when it comes from you. And we're able to work together. So I think those were the top three things.
वाह, अच्छा लगता है अपनी अपनी तारीफ सुन।
It's all the truth, I
Right.
promise.
All right, all right. And Akriti, like if we talk about like a result-oriented approach and just a healthy approach, do you think that there's a difference in both of them? Like, can you share like what results you were able to achieve, and when you were stuck in your journey and when you were not getting result, like how do you differentiate like the result-oriented approach and the, I would say, just the akka healthy approach? Like, how do you differentiate that?
I think it's very uh, Oh my God, that's a very difficult question because I think there's different
Let's start
phases
with calorie
when
counting.
each,
Let's start with
yeah.
finding out calorie counting. Do you think that it is important, like, or it is a very fussy thing to do?
No, I
Nobody
think
should do it.
it's science. I'm an applied scientist at work. I've been like an engineering student, like lover of math and science throughout. I'm going to tell you, like, science works, and it is what it is. Like, calorie in, calorie out is a science-based approach.
Right.
That's the only way to lose weight. There is no other way you're going to lose any fat on your body. Like, you have to put in less calories than you're spending. So it works, and like that's important. And it just works. It is what it is. So
Right.
I would say like that definitely works. Yeah.
That definitely helps, because I'm just asking this
Yeah.
question because a lot of people are like frustrated in their minds. I get a lot of questions on regular basis. Abhinav, sir, हम सब कुछ कर रहे हैं, like random question. I'm just talking about random people. Like हम healthy खा रहे हैं, हम 2 फुलके सब्जी खा रहे हैं, मतलब हम healthy खा रहे हैं, walk भी कर रहे हैं 10,000 steps, मतलब फिर भी कुछ नहीं हो रहा है, like मतलब क्यों नहीं हो रहा है, like do you think like just the healthy approach works, or just I would say you have to be more structured, more planned with whatever you are.
Okay, I got your question now, what you mean by the healthy approach. There are so many hidden calories that you consume on an everyday basis. And I
Right.
started noticing that when I started counting my calories.
Right.
uh, I was like, oh my God. And like when your goal, when you're losing weight, if your goal is like 1400, 1500, 1600 calories, those 200 calories on the side add up. Like, like
Right.
those are important 200 calories that you can use to fill yourself up with like a protein or a fiber. But if you eat like chips, it's going to make you more hungry. So at the end of the day, it's not just going to be 200. You're going to want to eat more, and then you're going to have like 400, 600 calories, and
Hmm.
then you're not in a deficit anymore.
Right.
So I personally don't think that when you're in the transformation stage, when you're actually trying to reach somewhere, that healthy approach works.
Hmm.
For maintenance, sure. I think right now, for example, I'm following the healthy diet,
Healthy
and then
approach.
it works out. Because, yeah, like, because, like I'm not looking to gain weight, I'm not looking to lose weight. I'm
Maintaining.
going to be constant.
You're
Yeah, like,
maintaining
I'm going
your
to be
habit.
constant.
Like you're eating healthy. You're not
Yeah,
expecting anything out of it. You're just like,
yeah,
okay, this is a
yeah.
lifestyle.
Yeah.
Whenever I
But
go
like if you
out,
want to like lose weight and you want to lose weight aggressively, because that's why most people want like that transformation, then I don't think the healthy thing is going to work. Like you have to give your body what it needs and not what it wants. And the only way you'll find that out if you're doing both. I think. I think you'll be very strict with and I have noticed it. Like, I've been that person be like, I'm doing everything up now, I'm eating healthy. I'm a meal prep,
recently,
but like, I
it
was,
happened.
yeah,
It
yeah,
happened in the
I
last
wasn't.
days.
Yeah, I wasn't measuring the chicken that I was making. So I was like, I'm eyeballing it. I've been doing it for a year. No, but like it didn't work. I was not eyeballing it correctly.
Right.
So as soon as I started like being anal about it and being measuring the food, I lost a lot of weight. So
You see
I
result.
literally just, and
Once
like
you
I knew it.
right. So I think I asked you only like, Akriti, where do you think you can improve? And you were like, yeah, I've been eyeballing things. Maybe I can
Yeah.
just get better with counting my
Yeah.
calories. Because see, the thing with me also, like from last 3, 4 months, like after my surgery and whatever happened, like I got married in between. I was traveling a lot. So I have not been able to focus on an actual goal or actual my transformation phase. So I'm not in that phase right now. But what I'm doing
Mm,
right now is just make sure that I know certain things from like
mm,
counting calories for a long time. I know my portion sizes as well. I know a rough estimate of how many calories should I be consuming. So whatever
yeah.
decisions I make, it is just like, okay, I need to plan protein in my plate, vegetables in my plate, and I don't want to have like extra calories every day. Maybe yesterday I had
Mm,
like sushi, like 3, 4 pieces of sushi, or maybe I had a couple of nachos as well. Maybe next meal I can be more mindful. Next day I can be more
yeah.
mindful. I think that approach I am just using. But in this approach,
Yeah.
am I questioning myself? यार मैं तो सब कुछ healthy कर रहा हूँ, but फिर भी नहीं हो रहा. I know that I'm not eating according to like
Yeah.
what needs to be done according to my goal.
Mm,
Unless and until even I start getting on that food weighing scale, no matter how much I hate it also, like, but if I don't do it, I know that despite of 10 years of experience, I'm not going to see the results I really want to
yeah.
see, right? So I
Yeah.
think with time, your journey is initially being a beginner, you can have that advantage of healthier eating and losing weight, but over the time that thing will come to an halt and you will have to level up your efforts as well. So I think it is something
Absolutely.
which happens with time. You just keep on leveling up, keep on learning,
Yeah.
okay, where are the leakages right now, where I can get better, and just get better with it. Like the growth
Yeah.
should go, right? So last
Yeah.
question, Akriti, from my side, that what results you were able to achieve in your transformation journey of, like we did in phases, in first 3 months, then how were your next 6 months, like what results you were able to achieve, and like just tell us about your journey, like in short.
Well, I think overall, I think we started, I think March last year, and now we are talking in September, so like a year and a half or so.
On
So
and
I
off,
think overall,
in
I'm
between, like
yeah. On
travel,
I think we did like 3 month phases, but like I do 3 months, then take a break, then 3 months, then take a break, then three
something
months,
like
like something like that.
yes.
Yeah. Um, and I think that helped because like my body needed the rest and my mind needed the rest. Like I take vacations in that timing,
Definitely,
so
definitely.
that
You
that was
need
helpful.
rest from fat loss
So
phases. You need rest from
yeah,
counting calories. You should be respecting
yeah,
that. A lot of people are like,
absolutely.
एक ही stretch में कर लेंगे, 6 months लगाएंगे.
Yeah,
But you have to accept that it is not going to be a Sunday every day. You are going to feel your
absolutely.
feelings. You are going to have plans. Whenever you travel at one place, for example, you are going for a vacation for 7 days. After that, you are going to take 14, 20 days to get back to the routine, how it was going. It is not going to be like, okay, अब वापस आई, you're a
Absolutely.
superhuman, चलो सब शुरू हो गया. It never works like that. So yes, Akriti, please.
So I think I lost anywhere between 16 to 18 kilos in terms of like my weight. And then in
Right,
terms of inches, I couldn't give you an exact number, but I did drop like an entire dress size. I would
right,
say like a little more than a dress size because the medium that I was wearing was getting tight on me when I started working with you, and now like consistently like I'm small. I dropped like two waist sizes.
right,
So yeah, I think those were the quantitative things that happened. Other than that, I think things that don't get counted is that I feel a lot better, every morning when I wake
right,
up because, like
right,
I'm not bloated anymore. I don't have that issue anymore.
right.
But also in terms like just mentally, I think I feel a lot better after starting to work out, and it's become a part of my daily life and habits.
Right. So apart from, weight loss, you were able to just build a better relationship with your body, if that is
Yeah,
not wrong to say, right? And you
yeah.
also, like any other thing, like this is something, which helped me with working out and with, healthier eating, or being, last question, so sorry, like it just came into my mind, like being a busy with a desk job, like 9 to 5 job, how you are able to do your steps like consistently. Like a lot of people tell me कि अभिनव यार, जॉब है हमारा, ऑफिस ऐसा है कि 9 to 5 हमें बैठना ही पड़ता है, वी कैन नॉट डू लाइक वॉकिंग, 4,000 से ज्यादा स्टेप्स नहीं हो सकते. लाइक what advice you would like to give, top 3 advices how to
I
increase
think
count.
I think three to nahi hai, but I think it was a very simple logic that worked out. 10,000 steps at once, like, is a lot. Like, if you think 10,000 steps ek baar mein ho jayega, like, that's not going to happen. For
Right,
me, like, I split it up, like, 3,000 steps 3 times a day and 1,000 steps idhar udhar jate mein hi ho jate hain. So,
right.
like, I'd wake up in the morning, do like a 20-minute walk, look at my Instagram while walking. That was like 3,000 steps.
Wow,
Right after lunch, I'd
scrolling and walking. That's a great.
that's how I walk. That's
Right,
how I walk. Like if I want to scroll, I have to walk. Otherwise, I don't give myself permission to scroll anymore. Like I'm highly addicted to like watching reels and TikToks. So if I
right,
have to watch TikToks, I have to walk.
right.
So same thing with lunch. Like, right after lunch, I've made the habit of anyways, it's good to like move around after you've eaten something. So I do the same
Af-
thing, like a 20-minute walk after
After your
lunch.
meals, like you would like
Huh.
to add some
Yeah.
steps
So
in.
then like when you're working out, so like some cardio portion is there. उसमें
Right,
हो जाता है. So I think
right,
then if you think, oh, in one go I have to finish 10,000, that's difficult. I also wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. Like it's not possible. Like 1 घंटा I'll just be walking 1.5 घंटा. But like
right,
if you split it up in like 20 minutes, like it's easy to do.
right. That's great. I think that's it for now, Akriti.